Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now I'm working from the Sprinter today because I have more service than my home office and just didn't feel like going up to the corporate office because my son coming home and got a call coming in. So I will be right back. Give me 1 second. Hey, Tony here. Back for a little quick second. But want to pop in because been working a lot with clients one-on-one. Still have some calls today, working this week. And one of the things that we focusing on right now is building wealth. We talk about love and relationships all the time, but as you know, like the Bible say, money answereth all things. Now the love of money, that's a different thing, but money answereth all things, meaning that you can have love life, relationship, whatever, but if you can't pay your bills, and especially me being in a space of providing purpose-based services and seeing that as adults, like we still can struggle with a $10 payment, and that right there has to stop. And we got to be able to create more streams of income and create leverage. And one of the things that I hear all the time with adults is, how can I? Why me? And here go my call coming back. Doing a big real estate call right now. Y'all be sorry about that. Y'all got to forgive me. I'm working on a real estate deal and some other little business ventures, and so good thing I'm on StreamYard because I get to pause if a call comes in. But now I only got 15 minutes. But what we focusing on, and this is the thing, is for me, it's kind of painful to see and hear and go through and just have so many adults who we all struggle and we all make bad financial decisions. We all can earn $1 million and we could spend $1 million. I remember spending $1 million in a month, and it just showed me just how fast money can go. And so think about coming from nothing, making $20,000 a year, to spending over $1 million in 1 month. It's like, whoa. But just buying a house and investing in business and buying things that you want and dream car and stuff like that, is just like that is gone. And so that right there, it shows you that money literally is just currency, and it comes from how you think about it, how you think about yourself, what gifts you can identify within yourself, and then how you scale yourself. But the thing about it is a lot of people get in over their head and they get systems that they did not create with their fingerprint. And that's what I believe that we have to do differently. So what I've created is a system that can earn me 7 figures and one day 8 figures, 9 figures, 10 figures, but it's built by my brain with my fingerprint. And that's where we have to start understanding and getting to where you can do what makes sense to you, but you're using all of your gifts and you leveraging your gifts, and then you taking the free things that you have access to, like this right here. YouTube is a free tool that you can show up every single day. And one thing that I have found is that a lot of people knew how to show up in grade school, elementary, middle, high school, even college. Some people even master's degrees, doctorate degrees, knew how to show up every day when it was required of them by law or required of them by their parents, but don't know how to show up for themselves when you depend on you. And you got to ask yourself, how many times have I shown up every single day on a free network that I have the right and the freedom and the ability to post every single day? How many times have I shown up? And who do I have to blame for that? And if I'm giving my time to a dead-end job that is taking 40 to 60 to 80 hours a week, and I'm not carving out time for myself, who is to blame? And if I'm working so hard on somebody else's job, why won't I work that hard for myself? And if I lose my job and I was able to be dedicated to somebody else's job and bust my butt and do everything they wanted me to do, why can't I bust my butt for myself now that I'm unemployed? These are questions that you got to ask yourself. And a lot of people just won't put in the work. So when you look at me and you see me, God-made millionaire, and yet still learning, still struggling, still making mistakes, still going through it, but in a position far, far better than the average American, I want you to understand that I did it my way, and I did it on my own, and I used a very practical blueprint. I didn't listen to what the gurus and stuff out here was teaching, because I realized they depended on other people. They depended on scaling a staff and a team. And I am a firm believer in solopreneurship, because at the end of the day, you came out your mama by yourself, and you going in your casket by yourself. And you don't want to leverage your life and your future and your money and your success all on other people. You need to be able to know that if everything falls, if all the chips fall, if everything going the wrong way, that you got you and you could depend on you. And so I thought about this. I did it in the past, but I did it one-on-one. And I realized that I wasn't teaching enough people fast enough. And all I could do is teach it. Everybody don't want it the same. Everybody don't have the same desire, the same grind. So all I could do is teach it. Now, I'd have clients that went on to earn great money and went on to be able to leave a job, work full time, and they implement thing after thing. But other people, they get the knowledge and they sit on it and they waiting until the right time. Timing is everything, so they waiting until they fully ready. So this week I'm on the business series because Friday, which will be midnight on Friday, so Thanksgiving Day, that night, midnight, I'm launching my group for 2026. And in this group, we will be a group. I don't know if it'll be 3 of us or if it'll be 100 of us, but we won't have over 100 members, because I want it to be intimate enough, because typically you have at the most 50% of people on the calls. And so we're going to have up to 2 calls a month. We may have some bonus calls. And the group will be April through December. And in this group, I'll be walking you through the base steps of building your business and your brand and scaling at your own pace and doing it your own way. And I'll show you exactly how I've done it and how I simplify things and I make it manageable for myself, and how I break down my days. And then I'll bring in other people who specialize in certain areas of business, because that's what I lean on. I will hire independent consultants, so I don't have to have anybody on W-2 or paying somebody every week. So, hey, I need this graphic, I'll pay this graphic designer. But then also utilizing freelancing sites. And then being able to learn a little bit about everything. So knowing how to go onto the tax system and fill out your taxes if you need to. If you go to a CPA and you realize they scamming, and you realize that they not really trying to do the best work for you and they just trying to get you out the door, you learn enough about it to where you have an idea of what you can write off. And now with systems like TurboTax, it literally take you through every single write-off that's possible for your small business. And that's where the world is coming to, is cutting out the middleman. Now with AI, a lot of middlemen are cut out, and the world is changing. And people don't like it because everybody want to be needed. Even myself, I'm a ghostwriter. You know, I charge $10,000 or more to ghostwrite a book, and now they have a AI that ghostwrite the book in 5-10 minutes. You know, a lot of songwriters and music producers being cut out by the AI system that make a song in 2 minutes. And so the middleman is being removed, and we go into a world of solopreneurship where you can take an idea, take a gift, take a dream, and you can bring it to life in 24 hours if you want to. And so we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how you create multiple streams of income. And yes, one of those streams of income is consulting. And a lot of people try to knock online course makers and stuff like that and mastermind creators because there are a lot of scammers. But here's the thing that I had to realize and that I had to wake up to. You can't remove yourself from the marketplace just because it's evil in the marketplace, just because it's scammers in the marketplace. What you got to do is you got to be that pure person in the marketplace, because anything that God try to do, the devil try to emulate. So it's always going to be scammers, and it's always going to be junk in the mastermind, in the courses, in the hair industry, in the clothing industry, in the car industry, in the baking industry, and whatever industry you go to, it's always going to be junk and it's always going to be scammers. But you have to be the pure one in the room, and you can't take and cut off your income. And that's what I was doing. I took and I cut my income by 50% at one point. At the beginning of my career, in my first year of full-time entrepreneurship, I made $143,000 in that first year of full-time entrepreneurship. And I had went to $15,000 a month. And a part of my business was being a relationship coach and teaching on love and relationships on social media. And then here came the scammers. You got the swole buddy who cheating on his wife. You got the buddy with the dreadlocks who is single as a dollar bill. We had another little country bumpkin out of Alabama who didn't know what he was talking about. We had all these different scammers pop up. You had Steve Harvey pop up, who came into the industry for a little bit, that, you know, to try to squeeze blood from a turnip. And all these different relationship coaches popped up. And I was the first one that went viral. And I was 2 years before Steve Harvey wrote his book. So when all these people came and they got into it, I got out of it. Because I'm like, man, I don't want to be in here with these lames and with these scammers. But one thing about it is that was a part of my business. That was a part, like me doing them videos. It would then, the videos will go viral, and then somebody will go look up my name on Google, see that I've wrote several books. They go to Amazon, they buy my books. So my books was earning me $5,000-$6,000 a year. When I cut that out, my income dropped by 50%. And then one day my wife told me, she said, you know, if you don't stay in your lane and do what you call to do, somebody who fake, because we had another young guy who was single and he was a poet, and he started talking about love relationships, and he started making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but he wasn't called to it. So everybody just came, and I was one of the only ones, if not the only one, who was called to it. And I removed myself, and it hurt me. And my wife had to help me understand that, hey, you ain't doing nothing wrong, because your heart is in the right place, and that's why God blesses you. That's why you have what you have. That's why you had the success that you had out the gate. So when I went back to it, it blew up, and I caught and passed everybody that was doing it erroneously and facetiously and with the wrong intentions. Because when you call to it and you're doing it with the right intentions, and your heart is right, and you purpose-based, and it's not just about profit, then you could succeed, you can win, and you can have longevity, so that you don't have to worry about going broke ever. And your choices and your decisions that you make that are bad choices and decisions, it's going to be because of you and what you want to do, not because of what happened to you, not because of life and how it is happening, but because you chose to make a bad decision with your finances. And I've been there, done that. Got a t-shirt, don't want to go back. So I'm here to tell you, in 2026, as you see what our world is going, and you see what's happened politically, you see like all the time, all the help, all the assistance, everything that has allowed people to be dependent on the government, all that stuff is they trying to cut everything. They trying to eradicate the poor. They trying to eliminate. They trying to be done with you. You're going to have to be a full-time worker, or you're going to have to become an entrepreneur, and you're going to have to build business. And so that's what we going to. So stop thinking that you unworthy. Stop thinking that won't nobody buy from you. And it's time to wake up, realize, smell the Folgers in the morning, and it's time to put your fingerprint on it. It's time to claim your seat at the table. It's time to have your date with destiny. And that's what it's gonna come down to. I'm creating a day nap right now. You know, I don't like day naps, but I realize instead of just staying out of the industry, go in it and try to clean it up and be the purity. So if the scammers and the people who just want money can go create a date nap and the app be worth $8 billion like Bumble or $3 billion like Tinder, why can't somebody who dedicated their life to love and relationships get in there and try to become a billionaire too, doing it the right way? Might not get there because I'm doing it the right way, but hey, why not try? And so that's what it's time out for all the skepticism. It's time out for not betting on yourself and just doubting yourself and going to work for somebody else. And that's my quote that I created that say, if you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help them build theirs. And that's what we changed. And so I'm launching the group Friday morning, 12 a.m. It's only 100 people allowed in it because I want it to be intimate, because I'm doing one-on-one sessions with everybody in the group, and everybody in the group has text message access to me one day a week, Monday through Friday. Can't text me every day now, Monday through Friday, but you get to choose the day that you want to text and ask your questions or tell me about your idea. We go back and forth for a little bit there, and then you can do the same the next week. And then each quarter we'll have a one-on-one, and then we're going to have 2 calls a month. And then I work on Saturdays now because we're in a different season, we're in a different time. I only got 1 child at home, so I got more time to grind. So on Saturdays, outside of my 2 coaching calls, I'm going to be in the office open. So if you want to come into town, I'm going to allow up to 3 people each Saturday, unless I put in the group chat, hey, not available this Saturday, out of town, or Tating on the way for a tournament. Then you'll be able to come in town. So this ain't just your normal typical mastermind where somebody just fleecing your pockets and just scamming you and don't even showing up. I'm gonna be giving a lot of access to myself and my time and giving you the full complete game, and I've already done it. A lot of people became rich off of mastermind groups, and that's how they make all their money. I ain't gonna say their name. This my first legitimate real mastermind group, and so I'm already a made man. So what I'm finna give you is what I did and what I built as a solopreneur, so you can offer my gifts, offer my gifting as a writer and a speaker and a teacher, so that you can take your gifts and you can scale. And it don't matter what industry that you are in, because it's principle based. So scaling is scaling, and you can scale. But that's why we're gonna have our live Q&As, so I can give you the specific game for the industry that you're in. So it's not just for authors and speakers and life coaches. Somebody in the hair industry, baking industry, scale is scale, but it's principles. These are the principles of business, the principles of scaling, the principles of leveraging your gifts, talents, and passions. And so that's what we're going to be applying, and that could be applied to almost any business. If you're an astronaut, okay, that might be something different. But almost any entrepreneurial venture, these principles will be able to be applied, because principles do not change. So if you are able, you'll be able to, it's up right now, but it's not, you can't sign up yet on Tony Gaskins Academy. You'll see it say 2026 Solopreneur Mastermind. You can go to Tony Gaskins Academy, check out what it's featuring. I haven't uploaded the video. I'll probably put this video on there. But God bless you, and we'll talk soon. 1 minute late for next coaching call. We'll talk soon. All the important links in the description.